Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a review of the Berlin Philharmonic under Kirill Petrenko and their tribute to Arnold Schoenberg. This is the Schoenberg part. Yeah, okay. We'll get to the box in a moment, but we need first to consider the fact that it is impossible for Petrenko and the Berlin Phil to undertake this project without being conscious of the fact that one of the greatest productions of the Berlin Philharmonic under Herbert von Karajan was his second Viennese school box, which contained, well, some Schoenberg. You had the variations for orchestra, Pelléas and Melisande, and Verklärte Nacht. I think that was the Schoenberg component. The rest was Webern and Berg. And those are splendid performances which have withstood the test of time admirably well. Really, really impressive performances that Karajan supposedly paid for himself because Deutsche Grammophon was afraid to do it. Well, the Berlin Philharmonic is no longer afraid to do it, and good for them. And the wonderful thing about this box is that it does not largely reproduce what Karajan did, only in two works. But there's a lot more besides. So what you get, let me just tell you what you get in this thing. First of all, it comes with one of these, sanitary toilet things around it that falls off and you have to throw away as soon as it arrives. Otherwise, it tells you nothing on the actual box except in teeny, teeny, tiny type on the back there. And what interests me about this particular piece of, thingy is that it's all in English. And I wonder if you order this in Germany or buy it there, is it all in English? I don't get it. Anyway, it's okay. I'm happy. I'm not complaining. So you get on CD1, there are 4 discs, by the way. CD1 has Verklärte Nacht and the Chamber Symphony No. 1. CD2 has Jakobsleiter, or Die Jakobsleiter, actually, and auf Deutsch Jacob's Ladder, the oratorio fragment, which is one of Schoenberg's most extraordinary pieces, left incomplete, like so many of his major works, and Moses and Aaron being the most famous. So that's CD2. CD3 gives you the orchestral variations and the Violin Concerto, played by Patricia Kopachinskaya, the woman who did the most horrible Tchaikovsky concerto ever. Schoenberg is her thing. I'm telling you, she's good with that. Then you get a Blu-ray disc, which I have no desire or ability to look at, that contains concert videos in high-definition video and a bonus audio, Jacob's Ladder in studio quality, pure audio Dolby Atmos, 24-bit/48 kilohertz. Oh, what a thrill, which I obviously didn't listen to. And then you get a download code for high-resolution files and a 7-day free ticket to the Berlin Philharmonic's digital concert hall video streaming experience. That's all very nice because this is all premium priced stuff. So first, before we get to the actual performances, which are very good, by the way, I'll talk about them in more detail shortly, we have this brick of stuff, and it opens. It's important that we talk about these things because you're paying a premium price for it. The first trick is to find out which side is up. To that, you look at the spine and see if that's that. So this is the side that's up. And when you open it, there is this very, very large booklet, which is wonderful. It's an excellent essay by Harvey Sachs on Schoenberg. You get texts and translations in German and English, including the whole poem that inspired Verklärte Nacht. It's really a generous, excellent program booklet of a type that the record industry does not usually give us anymore. So kudos to them for that. On the debit side, it's printed in strange red, sort of Times New Roman type font thing. And the essay, which is in German and English, is instead of having the German one and the English one, they do it on opposing pages. So the even number pages have the essays and program notes and other information in German, and the odd number pages have it in English. And they don't line up with each other. In other words, you don't have the same text on each page. They follow their own, because German takes longer than English, and English takes longer than German, depending on what you're saying. And that's just weird. It took me a little time to figure out what the hell was going on in this booklet thing. So it's a nice gesture. It could have been realized, I think, with a little bit more practicality and finesse. So there's that. Then we get to the actual discs. The discs, I'll do it this way, are contained in this featureless gray blob. And the featureless gray blob opens that way, like a garage door. You have to figure out how it opens without tearing it apart, which is difficult. And then within, we have the CDs, which are nice. They're in these things, which are handy to get out until you get to CD 4, which does not come out. It doesn't come out because, wait a minute, I gotta put this back the way it was, because there is a little red tab that locks, that you find, it's, there we go. Can you see the little red thing there? This little red tab, which you can't see when you're looking at it normally, locks the whole, this last thing in place. So you got to get your fingernail under it, and then you can lift it all up that way. And then under that is this white thing, piece of paper, which contains your 7-day digital concert hall ticket and audio download code and all of that stuff. But you would never know where to find it. My God. I mean, if you were actually interested in that. So in order to put this back, you have to get the little tab and stick this back in here and then close it down again and flip it closed. My God, is that awkward. So, I appreciate all the effort that goes into these things. But what often amazes me about this sort of thing is that they paid somebody to think of this. Somebody sat around and scratched their head and said, oh, how shall we package this? Let's do it this way. And there was nobody there practically to say, what are you, crazy? I appreciate the effort that goes into these things. I do. And like I said, for full price, it had better be good. But boy, this could be done with more smarts from a purely practical packaging point of view. So, and like I said, I believe that matters. Some people criticize me for talking about packaging and presentation so much. But when you're spending that kind of money for a premium product, it matters. So, what about the performances? Well, the performances are splendid. I mean, they're really, really good. Possibly some of the best stuff we've heard from Petrenko in Berlin. One of the things we always talk about when you praise something like Schoenberg as well, it's because it's not much competition and nobody knows what it's supposed to sound like. And I have to say, at this day and age, Schoenberg is not as intimidating as he used to be. He's still intimidating, God knows. But listening to the music now, I find it really kind of appealing. I mean, I always have. I like Schoenberg. I always have liked Schoenberg. But, especially his later stuff. But this is really very, very finely done. Verklärte Nacht. Let's start with that. Verklärte Nacht, well, the Berlin Philharmonic has glorious strings. They always have. And they play with total conviction. They don't turn the thing into a sludge fest. The moment of transfiguration toward the end is absolutely rapturous, beautifully done, and very, very impressive. The Chamber Symphony, which is gnarly and really requires tremendous virtuosity from all the first desk players, gets exactly what it needs. It's a swift, exciting, dramatic performance. I think that's really, really powerful. So that's really good. Then we get to Jakobsleiter, or Jacob's Ladder. the performance, the oratorio was left incomplete. It was finished by one of Schoenberg's pupils, Winfried Zelig by name, and it wasn't performed until the 1960s, actually. And what we could complete, or what Zelig completed, was about 45 minutes of music. It's a big work. It's for multiple choral groups and singers and a Sprecher, and it's all about, the ultimate relationship of God and man, and how to overcome doubt and go ever higher in one's search to unify with God, which is also the theme of Moses and Aaron, actually. It was an issue that Schoenberg struggled with all of his life. He wrote the text himself. It's a little bit abstruse, to be kind, but the music is absolutely splendid. Zillig did a terrific job. No one's ever suggested. What Schoenberg left was a big short score of the first part of the oratorio, basically. It was supposed to be in two parts. But the fact is, it's kind of like Bruckner's Ninth. I mean, what exists is very complete, as it is, in terms of a sort of dramatic entity. Much of it had to be orchestrated from short score. Schoenberg orchestrated some of it. And it ends with, the ethereal, doubting soul one of the souls getting whizzed up to heaven. And it's all very, very effective. It really is. And it's one of Schoenberg's, largest works. Even though he didn't complete all of it. He tried. He was working on it for basically from about like 1915 all the way to the end of his life, the 1950s. And he just never got anywhere with it, which is a shame. Or he got this far with it. The performance is terrific. There are a few others. There's Boulez, and Robert Kraft did a very good one, and there's some other wonderful things. You've got a whole pile of good soloists here. Wolfgang Koch, Daniel Bela, Wolfgang Ablinger, and Ablinger Sperrhacke. No, it's pointless to try and do all the names here. But they sing and enunciate and sprechstimme and narrate extremely well. The orchestra plays wonderfully. The choirs sing beautifully. It's really a powerful and gripping performance of a remarkable work. It really is. It's worth getting to know, especially since you have the text here. And then the final CD, of orchestral music, that's not the Blu-ray thing that I already talked about, gives you a really slamming performance of the variations for orchestra. I mean, you get to hear the flexitone. Oh, it's so exciting. What really got me about this performance is that it's powerful and transparent, and the work itself is marvelous. I mean, yeah, it's like 12-tone and all that stuff, but the fact of the matter is, when I first heard it, and the first one I heard was Karajan's, I just was totally baffled by what it was. But, you wait a few decades, you listen to it a few thousand times, and it becomes familiar, atmospheric, poetic, often very beautiful. It's really a cool piece of music to just, let it wash over you. It's pretty splendid. And this performance is so confident. It really is. I mean, considering that it's live and all that, they really, really play it with conviction and with care and with like phrasing. It's lovely. And the fast variations, like just before the end, when like it really gets hopping, are very, very exciting. And then finally we have Kopachinskaya, as I mentioned, she of the most awful Tchaikovsky violin concerto ever. She's much nicer in Schoenberg. You can tell it's her. It's interesting. She does phrase with warmth. She liked in the Tchaikovsky, all that slushy slop stuff she did was just annoying. Schoenberg, she's not as slop. I mean, it's not that kind of hard-on-sleeve romantic approach. But yes, there are touches of portamento. She controls her vibrato very well. She's a very fine violinist. She had taste issues. Okay. But, Schoenberg sort of is antiseptic when it comes to people who have taste issues. You either get through it or you don't. And she gets through it very well. I mean, her double stopping is really in tune, as far as I could tell anyway. And the piece itself, again, very, very difficult work. very difficult work. The performance I've always turned to is the one on Naxos with Robert Kraft conducting, and who's the violinist? Ralph Shapey or so? I don't know if I can remember the violinist, but he's wonderful. Or is it the old father? Or, never mind me. I'm never going to remember. It went out of my head, but it's a wonderful performance. It was the first one that I could actually listen to all the way through and that made sense. And this is like that too. It has purpose. It has shape. Everybody's on the same page most of the time, at least it seems to me. I could get out my score and make sure, but I just enjoyed listening to it. It's a very, very fine performance. It's a bold performance, and so. The Blu-ray disc is fourth, and it's behind that tab. You can't get out. This is really a fine set, a really, really fine set. And packaging issues aside, I don't object to the premium price because, let's face it, people are not lining up at the door to get budget Schoenberg. Really? If you're going to want this, you got to pay for it. And you know what? That's not such a terrible thing. You're not paying that much. It's not like a crime that they're doing. And the sonics are really good. The live sonics are really good. The audiences are well behaved. And this was a bold and successful product. And project, that is. And product. And I was really impressed. And you will be too. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.